Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about tomorrow's energy pattern, which is quite fascinating, and a couple of fixed star placements because I find them very, very interesting and very revealing in light of what is happening in the world. Afghanistan has just fallen to the Taliban's, as you've probably heard about it, and it's really, really disturbing what's happening to the women there and children. And although I do believe that another country should not police anyone just because that country is big and strong and has a huge military force, at the same time, I also don't believe in being thrown back into the Middle Ages because the strong men in a country have the power to do that. So I'm very worried of what's going on there, and I don't think the world is going to be a better or nicer or healthier or safer place because of this. In light of that, one of the configurations tomorrow is just going to describe what I have told you so far. One moment, I need to share this. I still don't know how to talk and share, and at the same time I need to learn this. I apologize for my clumsiness. The cardinal square between Pluto and Eris has been and will be last year's and this year's main karmic astrological feature. And I spoke about it many, many times. Those who learn from me or know me quite well, I've shared my ideas with you, and you may remember, but for those who don't know, Pluto denotes power and transformation, and Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So it is a very powerful but hidden entity. And in Capricorn, it has been trying and will try to demolish rigid power structures, anything that has been rigidly saved without actually being able to change. It's always a very powerful but very painful event or process, I should say. And those who undergo any Pluto transit probably know that you may be dying in the process and then slowly reborn. The phoenix bird is a symbol of the Pluto processes, and this is what's happening to the bird. On the other hand, Eris, who is the demon of discord in Greek mythology, is a very interesting little entity. It has been in Aries for probably 80 years or even more. And if you return to the myth, she's always hooked up with Aries, the warlord, Mars. And whenever she goes somewhere, she tries to make quarrel between the people. And when they are quarreling and there's a considerable amount of discord, that is when Mars is able to come in and carry out a full-blown war, which is a very interesting idea because it suggests that the people, normal human beings, don't war, don't fight, don't quarrel. You need an entity to throw discord between them, and that is what triggers wars. Now, these two celestial objects, both of them, by the way, centaurs, or both of them TNOs, because Pluto is no longer a planet. It's one of the main items in the so-called Kuiper belt, which is the region in the solar system beyond Neptune. And there are a zillion celestial objects there, and Pluto is among them. And so is Aries. And actually, it got its name Aries because in 2005 or 6, when it was officially discovered, they realized it's bigger than Pluto. So Aries is the reason why Pluto got demoted. It's quite interesting. And now they are locked in a square, a cardinal square. And to tell you the truth, I don't know which one is stronger. There's always a fight when you have a square. Pluto is ruled by Saturn. That's not a nice position for Pluto, because the transformative processes are kind of hindered by the planet of structure and time and conservatism. And at the same time, Eris is ruled by Mars, which is its psychic in the Greek mythology anyway. So it's a very interesting dynamic there. And the whole world is in turmoil, and we will see some true struggle and some bloody events, I think, in the upcoming times. Now, the Aries-Pluto square has been within orb and will remain within orb, but it's getting actually very, very tight at the moment. And as you can see in the picture, the sun is acting as a pushing force, as a highlighting and energizing force at the moment. You can see a cardinal fire engine. An engine is made up by a square, a trine, and a quincunx, and it's combining the energy and drive of the square, the karmic obligation of the quincunx, and the blessings of the trine. So it's a very interesting configuration. And you also see a yod involving the Sun Pluto quincunx, which is always about power and personal transformation, and Sun Eris, which is Sun Pallas Athena, which is actually retrograding in Pisces. And Sun Pallas Athena is always about wisdom, how you express your wisdom. So the finger of fate, at the apex of which is the Leo sun, is going to help you to make transformative, wise, transformative, wisdom-filled decisions, and with the configuration, especially when you have placements around 25 degrees, 24 to 26 degrees in your chart, it could be very helpful for you to understand what's not working in your life and have the power to transform and do the transformation wisely. That's the yod. And as for the cardinal fire engine, fire is the element of transformation anyway, and the sun is highlighting the square, and it's actually energizing the square as well. So engines are always very, very powerful because they do exactly what an engine does. It can carry a lot of weight, and it gives you power, stamina, and endurance at the same time. So these are tomorrow's main features. And at the same time, fixed stars are also relevant at the moment. And I'm going to talk about 3 fixed stars, which are very, very important at the moment. But before we actually go into their story, let's consider what fixed stars are. In traditional astrology, some schools work with it. Since Ptolemy, they are usually defined by planetary combinations. So, for instance, Eris has the nature of Jupiter and Mars, and so on. I never really understood such ideas. For me, it wasn't really understandable or graspable. And I dealt a lot with the fixed stars anyway, and I researched their myths and their astrological meanings, and I looked at countless charts, and I was trying to assess what happened in the world whenever they change signs. Fixed stars remain within a sign. I'm talking about sign for 2,200 years, 2,160 years to be precise, and they usually change eras. So it's quite fascinating to study them. But what's more important from our point of view in transcendental delineations, fixed stars are higher dimensional worlds, and they are very interesting because they are not part of the solar system. At the same time, they are visible. And so they are part of our life, but not part of our space, if you understand what I mean. They are part of the universe, but still you can look up the sky and you can see them. So there's an interesting dichotomy working there. So in transcendental karmic astrology, these represent higher dimensional worlds where you can actually go. The soul itself can travel there and gain important teachings, either to be able to prepare, to be able to function in a very drastically harsh incarnation, and to be able to cover the tasks, the destiny tasks that you have chosen. Or after a difficult incarnation, you may go there to heal, to turn your bad experiences, your painful experiences into special traits and talents. So this is how we look at fixed stars in transcendental karmic astrology. And there are 3 important fixed stars in today's, and actually this couple of days charts. The first one is Mars. Mars is aligned and actually is conjunct, like we could say conjunct Zosma. I'm using the word conjunct because Bernadette Brady, who extensively worked with the fixed stars, her book, the Brady Book of Fixed Stars, is the definitive work on fixed stars. So I recommend, if you want to research them, this is the book to turn to. And in 2006, she suggested that we should not use the word conjunct because only zodiacal constellations, the stars of zodiacal constellations, can actually be conjunct a planet. But stars are everywhere. They cover the whole sky, okay? So the whole sphere, okay? And that's why those that are not zodiacal constellations, she suggested the usage of the word aligned. So this is what we are using ever since. And at the same time, since Zosma is part of a zodiacal constellation, the constellation is Leo, it's actually Delta Leo, we can use the word conjunct in this case. I'm going to share with you the picture of Leo, constellation Leo. Here it is. And you can see that Zosma is at the spine of constellation Leo. And this is the point where, according to the myth, Hercules broke the spine of the celestial lion, the Nemean lion. And this is how he was able to actually be victorious, because the problem was that the celestial lion was the prerequisite or the totem animal of the great goddess. And so its fur was very intact, and you couldn't use a knife or a sword to kill the animal. Of course, a knife or a sword is a phallic symbol, so it simply suggests that this was an entity, this was an idea, this was a magical animal that could not be defeated by regular masculine methods. And that's why Hercules had to actually wrestle with the lion, and they wrestled for 30 days and 30 nights, and a total moon cycle. And then finally he was able to somehow go behind it and then break its spine. And we know the story. After that, he just took the lion skin and used it to his benefit. So he from then on, he was invincible in a bottle. So Mars at the moment is conjunct Zosma. And Mars conjunct Zosma is revealing in the fact that in transcendental karmic astrology, Zosma is the healing world for very, very difficult persecuted feminine lives, where women were badly treated or burned at the stake or raped. And look at what's happening in Afghanistan. This is exactly what's happening there. And it's really frightening, the synchronicity of it. Mars will be there for a couple of days, but when this whole power takeover happened, it was exactly conjunct Zosma. Second fixed star I'm going to talk about is linked to Uranus. And Uranus at the moment is at 14 degrees Taurus, which is the placement of Menkar, Alpha Satus, the eye of the celestial whale. And it's a fascinating constellation because it's beneath the ecliptic, at a place which we call, actually, Bernard Brady called it a liminal space, where one constellation ends. So you can see the last couple of stars of one constellation, and another one is not yet commencing. So there's a gap. And there's a gap between Taurus and Aries, and Zosma, and the Set is underneath. So the veil, the celestial veil, is underneath these two constellations. And according to Bernard Brady, Menkar is the stair of the subconscious. And whenever it's prominent, as I said, it's about 13, 14 degrees Taurus, something is coming up from either the collective or the personal unconscious. And Uranus is there. Uranus is not a fast-moving planet, okay? It is at this position every 84 years only. So something is coming out of the collective subconscious, and we need to face it. And actually, it's because it's Uranus, it's going to be something sudden, a collective outburst, something totally not the usual stuff. So let's pay attention to this, especially if you have placements around Taurus 14 degrees. And the last constellation I'm going to show you is, and also the fixed star, is Ophiuchus, which is the serpent holder. And the placement there that is going to be important for us is Austria. Austria is the 5th asteroid to be discovered, and in karmic astrology, it denotes karmic, the karma breaker, okay, the destiny changer. Whenever it is prominent, you are able to break old embedded karma through the aspects or through the celestial objects that is conjunct or tightly aspected with. And the constellation of Ophiuchus is also quite interesting. I'm going to share the screen with you. It is a constellation, again, not on the ecliptic, but a little bit beneath it, between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And there's a male figure, Asclepius, usually it is labeled Asclepius, who is holding a serpent. In this case, you can see that the serpent, the snake, is actually going beneath and between his legs. So there you have the nasty other connotation if you have good vivid imagination. But usually the way they are going to, they usually show it is the serpent is behind its back, and in one hand he's holding the serpent head, and the other hand is holding the serpent tail, and the bulk of the serpent is behind him. And it suggests that the celestial healer is wrestling with this snake, but the snake is behind him, so the bulk of the knowledge is hidden. Okay, only the tail and the head are visible. At the same time, Ras Al-Hagu, which is the alpha star of Ophiuchus, is the head. It's the head, or again the eyes of the serpent holder of the celestial healer. And so it's very strongly connected to healing, all sorts of healing. And Astra is at the same time, at the moment, aligned with Ras Al Hagu, the serpent holders, healers, Alpha Star, providing very profound healing for us by breaking any karmic issue, by giving us the strength to deal with it, to make it possible. It's actually at Sagittarius 21, 22 degrees. If you have this placement prominent, Astra is right now there, tapping into the energy of Ras Al Hagu, the healer, and you can bring down very strong healing energies that are going to transform your life if you allow it to happen. This is it. I hope you can make it work. And I will soon come back with something more interesting if I see anything. Goodbye.